What's going on, everyone? So there's a lot of hope and expectation for Austin Reaves to kind of get things back on track this season. JJ Redick has a lot of just confidence in Austin Reaves. Expected to have him play a big, significant role on this team. I mean, Austin Reaves is a very good basketball player. I know he's coming off of an inconsistent season, and I know a lot of people are kind of down on him than they were prior. But even in a bad year, the guy still gave you, 16 a game as the fourth option. It's just the inconsistencies are the problem he had last year on both sides of the basketball, both defensively and offensively. But it was more so his struggles to shoot the basketball, right? Like, you look at the previous year, he was just shy of 40% from three-point range. So what that did is it opened up everything else and allowed him to be able to kind of get into the teeth of the defense, be able to score in a multitude of ways, where when your shot isn't falling, now the defender is kind of sagging off a little bit, so it makes it harder for you to get to your spots, get to your position. Also, teams now, because previous year there wasn't film on you, now there is. Now teams are expecting and prepared for you and know what you like to do and what you're looking to do. And, you saw teams make adjustments, but also it was a lot of Austin Reaves himself, right? A lot of his inconsistencies was just a lack of aggression. Again, go watch some games from this season or this past season and then look at the previous year. There is a glaring difference. I mean, like, incredibly obvious. And that is Austin Reaves settling so much more. He was constantly in attack mode. He was constantly keeping the defense on their toes, constantly being aggressive and trying to get to his spots, right? Where this season, he was a lot more passive. He settled a lot more, even when his shot wasn't falling, right? Because there were moments the previous year where his shot wasn't falling, or, he didn't have that feel, right? So what did he do? Hey, let me just go generate offense. Let me go draw some contact. Let me get the shot off, right? All of these things where now, like last year, and look, supposedly it was tired legs, which, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt of that. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Because, to be fair, he went from basically kind of just being a guy, like your 9th, 10th guy, to all of a sudden being thrusted to playing the most minutes on the Lakers and being a big part in that Western Conference run. You go on a deep Western Conference Finals run, and then immediately jump into FIBA, and then immediately jump into training camp, and then immediately jump into preseason, regular season, and play all 82 games. He was tired. Okay, fine. I'll give him that, right? But we'll know this season. If it's a lot of the same things, a lot of the same issues, right? Particularly his shot and the lack of consistency, then it is more than just that. I don't think he was as bad as he was last year, but I don't know if he was as good as he was the year prior, right? Like, I think he's somewhere in the middle. But like I've said before, I think he can be a 25-5 guy. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He wasn't that far off in an inconsistent down season. If we can get back to being more consistent, I think that's very good. But one of the big concerns was you didn't really see him doing any work this season. It's just all like him hanging out with his girlfriend and playing golf. And it's like, that's great. I'm glad you're getting rest. I'm glad, you're enjoying yourself. I'm glad, like everyone needs a little bit of a break. But I'd also like to say, like, everyone else is in the lab cooking. Everyone else is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Well, now we're getting images, and now we're seeing Austin Reaves in the Lakers facility putting in the work, getting shots up, doing drills, doing everything. And it's good, right? Like, this is what we need. Now, look, I've said it before, like, just because we didn't see it doesn't mean it wasn't happening, right? Like, just because we didn't see Austin Reaves in the gym shooting 100 shots doesn't mean that he hasn't been. But it was concerning, right? It's like we're getting videos and images of everyone else on the team, even LeBron. LeBron finished the Olympics, and literally, like, the next day or 2 days later, he was in the gym getting up shots and working on his game, right? It's like, dude, everyone else doing it, and everything we're seeing from Austin Reaves is all just, him golfing and, doing these events and, hanging out on the beach with his girlfriend and stuff like that, which again, I'm all for. Go ahead, go on with your bad self. Right? Do other things you love. But it's like, like you're coming off a bad year. I'd like to see working towards a better year, right? I'd like to see you working on your shot in particular. And so it's good. It's good that now we're seeing the photos and images, and Lakers are posting Austin Reaves and stuff, getting work in the lab. He's working with the coaches, all that. Again, JJ Redick has a lot of expectations for Austin Reaves. JJ Redick believes that Austin Reaves is going to be a big part for the Lakers this year. The Lakers believe he's going to be a big part for the Lakers this year. I mean, the Lakers essentially have this guy as untouchable, right? Unless you're prime Michael Jordan, you ain't getting Austin Reaves, right? And look, like, I don't want to trade Austin Reaves just to trade Austin Reaves. I like Austin Reaves a lot. I've hyped up Austin Reaves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan, right? Like, I am a fan of Austin Reaves in his game, but I'm also willing to point out the flaws and the issues and the concerns, and I don't think anybody is untradeable, right? Like, again, even LeBron and AD, I don't think are untradeable. I think that there are literally like 3 guys, if that are truly untradeable in the league. Like, and that's it, right? Like, even the Lakers, right? Like, LeBron, as much as I love LeBron, if you could swap LeBron for Wemby right now, would you do it? Yes. If you could swap LeBron for Jokic right now, would you do it? Yes. Okay, well, then he's not untradeable. Same thing with Anthony Davis. Would you swap AD for any of those guys? Yes. Okay, well, then he's not untradeable. Right? To me, Austin Reaves is not untradeable. Right? And I'm not even talking about star level. I'm not even talking about like Wemby or any of that. I'm talking about like, I was in the camp of like trading him for DeJounte Murray. I like Austin Reaves. DeJounte Murray's the better player. He is. He's the better player. And it's not like Austin Reaves is only like 8 months younger or something like that than DeJounte Murray. Like, it's not even like, oh, well, Austin Reaves is, 4 years, 5 years younger. No, like, they're like the same age, right? Like, so to me, it's just like, who better? But Austin Reaves, he is on a very favorable contract with the new CBA. That's very important, right? Like, you want cheap, young talent. You need guys that play better than their contract. And Austin Reaves is one of the guys that is better than your contract. However you feel about Austin Reaves, whether you love him, you hate him, you're indifferent about him, there's no denying he is better than his contract, right? He is a very good player. And I want to see him continue to grow and get better. I think he's closer to his ceiling than his floor, if I'm being honest. But I do think that Austin Reaves still has a little more, like, he can be better, right? I think he can be a little more efficient, right? Like I said, I don't know if he's as good as he was, 2 seasons ago, because again, teams weren't really planning for him. Teams weren't really expecting him. There wasn't tape. There wasn't things. Also, the whistle was different, right? Like, so the NBA is trying to get rid of the tic-tac fouls, right? Well, Austin Reaves was great the previous year in drawing those. And this is something I talked about last offseason, right? Will Austin Reaves be able to adjust to the NBA and the adjustments the NBA is making? And look, I believe that he would. I believe that he still can. But it's not that he was trash. He just was inconsistent is the problem, right? Like you saw, like to start the season, he was shooting like 28% from 3 or something like that early, like the first quarter of the season. Right? But he kept having these like pockets, right? He'd have like 5 games where he was great, where he's giving you like 22 and, shooting, 4 or 5 from 3 and just doing everything that you needed him to do. And it was like, oh man, is Austin Reaves finally back? And then he'd just have this like 3 to 5 game stretch where he was terrible, like literally unplayable. And it was just like, dang, right? Like, come on, man. Like, can you get back to consistency? Like, even if he just gives you the same numbers he gave you last year, but on better efficiency, perfect. And just more consistent, right? Because again, he averaged 16. Like, people look at the numbers that he posted and they go, oh, well, Austin Reaves gave you this, this, and that. But you got to watch the games. You got to watch what he did and how inconsistent he was. You got to remember, that's an average for the entirety of the season, in which Austin Reaves played all 82 games. Right? It's an average. Which means he had, again, 5 games where he gave you, 22 to 25 and was great. But then he had another 5 games where he was giving you like 5. And so you average that, it's like, oh, well, okay, so then he averaged, 15, right? Or 17. Again, you got to remember, it's averages. Stats are the averages, right? Like, so again, it's not like that's what he gave you every single game. And so I'm hoping that Austin Reaves can kind of find his groove. And instead of, I would rather, instead of 5 games, him giving us 25, I'd rather just every season or every game, the entirety of the season, he just is a lock for 15. Right? Like if every game he's giving you 15, you're going to win a lot more games over the longevity because you can clock him in every game at 15. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think Austin Reaves can be better this year? Do you think hey, this is just who he is? Are you excited to finally see him in the lab, working on his game, working on his shot, doing all those things? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.